Welcome, Fifth Lines. How to be a projection ninja. I am so excited to feature Namaste Moore. I met her in a mastermind, and projection has been one of the main things that we've talked about in this mastermind. And there are a lot of fifth lines in this mastermind leading and having the experience of just showing up, being themselves with all of their love and their truth to share generously, and being met with projections, hate, and having this struggle to really show up powerfully in the midst of that. And this woman, Namaste, really stood out to me as someone who has a lot of embodied wisdom and experience with how to handle projection like an absolute pro. And so today she's going to be sharing her tips for how to handle projection. This is so important if you have a fifth line, but if you're leading in any way, oh my gosh, something just scared me down there. Because if you don't learn how to handle projection, you can tend to avoid leading in general. And I noticed this with some of the women in the mastermind, that some of them haven't really stepped fully into their leadership and their power, because at some level they just know that once they do, that they're going to be needing to handle this projection field. So without further ado, let's hear from Namaste about how to be a projection ninja. Oh, and if we haven't met, my name's Karen McMullen, and I help multi-dimensional leaders to thrive by having absolute clarity about who they are and what they're here for. And today's guest, Namaste Moore of the Infinite Couple, I'm going to put all her details on how to connect with her through social media and her website down below. So you could definitely check her out and connect with her online.
How I've experienced both ends of the duality of projection is so when people think I'm their savior, it is, what are all my problems, and let me just give them to you. And I am sure that you have the solutions. I'm just so positive, and I trust you. So I've even had in some of my spaces where I've made an announcement that, ladies, you really don't need me. Everything you need is within you. You don't need me. And had the whole group say, yes, we do. We definitely need you. And so, when that is happening, it's very strong, and it can be very heady too, because it's nice to be acknowledged. It's nice to be seen. It's nice to know that you matter, and that the work that you're doing and what you're offering matters to people. And so that's why I did so much work around self-validation and things of that nature, because I wanted to be so internally solid and have, the platinum spine, so to speak, so that there wasn't any need for that from anyone else. So when I've received it, I've said thank you and been very gracious about it. And also, I keep in my mind that regardless of what you say, you don't need me. And then on the flip side, when that has flipped, and I have had some students, I've had some clients, and I've even had some strangers where it really flips and we get called a cult. Someone actually did a whole thing saying that we were running a cult, someone who's never even met us. I've had clients who wrote glowing testimonials, and when they leave on very not so good terms, and calling us every name in the book. And so I've definitely experienced both sides of that, and knowing that I haven't changed. I'm still the same person. I was the same person at the beginning of the relationship, and I'm still the same person now. But recognizing that when you get to the point where the person realizes that everything that they thought that you would do for them are things that they really need to do for themselves, that's when that projection comes up, because now you go from being the savior to being the villain, and that too is a part of their journey. And I think that part of it, knowing that can be so beneficial, especially for leaders, knowing that them villainizing you and seeing you as the devil in their story can also be a part of their growth.
Okay, so I'm going to divide this into your tips. So like,
okay,
ninja tip number 1 is going to be platinum spine.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to say about platinum spine?
Yes. So the platinum spine, I believe as a woman, it's important for us, even no matter how feminine we are, that we have a platinum spine. And of course, men also have a spine. So we're not alienating anyone, everyone, and anyone in between. Everybody has a spine. What you want to do is to strengthen your spine so that it is platinum and not like candy cane. So if you think about a candy cane, it looks strong, right? But you know, you bite into it and it just shatters everywhere. So you don't want your spine to shatter, meaning that it's very fragile. And any little thing that kind of knocks you off just kind of shatters you. And you also don't want it to be like a very overdone spaghetti noodle where you literally have no spine and you're just kind of like, oh, whatever you want, whatever you like. So that platinum spine, why platinum? Because platinum is not only strong and light, and it is also resilient, right? And so, and it's worth a lot. It's very valuable. And so the platinum spine is where you are saying that my spine, the space where I stand and how I hold myself and my own energy also determines how I am able to hold another person. And so my spine is still movable, right? Nobody wants a fused spine where you can't move at all, but I decide how I move and where I move and when. I am not moved upon. I am deciding how I move. So that's the platinum spine, and it really helps when it comes to projections.
I love that.
So the second thing that I think is really important is allowing yourself to become a mirror when you are dealing with someone's projections, because you can only control you. You cannot control anybody else. That said, knowing that I have control of me is what makes me extremely powerful, because that means I decide how I'm going to respond, what I'm going to do with this. It doesn't depend on someone else and them needing to change. I can change, and my changing changes everything. And I love the sovereignty of that. And so if you start to receive the projection from others, whether it is, you're amazing, you're awesome, you're saving me, or it's, oh my gosh, whichever way it goes, letting yourself, since you are being projected upon, become a mirror. So if they're saying, you're amazing, you're fabulous, oh my gosh, you have all the answers, then listen to them very closely and then return that gift to them. You are phenomenal. You are brilliant. You are beautiful. You have all the answers. I am simply helping you remember. That's it. That's all. And so now you're a reflection. And so the beauty that they see in you, they see in themselves. It also prevents a lot of the negative projections because no one wants to hate themselves. So if they're projecting onto you and you're a reflection, you're a mirror, they're gonna, I don't want to see that about me, you know? So you're just, and it's more of an energetic thing than just what you say. It's, you know, well, okay, why do you feel that way? What's going on with you? I don't address when someone is projecting negatively onto me. I don't get into it with them. I don't go back and forth with them because I know that when those projections come, they cannot be communicated away. And this is one of the things that I see a lot of fives make this mistake, because it seems like fives really love to communicate. And so it's like, I think I can, if we can just communicate, we could no, you're not going to be able to do that. Because why? A projector is not a communication device. It's not communicating with you. It's simply pointing something towards you. It doesn't want to hear back. And so allowing that yourself to become the mirror, saying to yourself, this is not about me, I'm the mirror, so therefore it's about them, can be very soothing to yourself, to your nervous system, and to how you see yourself, and keep you from carrying that pain forward into your next interaction.
So valuable. I can just feel all the people watching this video going, oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah. So the ability to receive the projections and to respond from neutrality to a great extent is based on how much shadow we've integrated, how much of our own shadow. This has been my observation. The more of my own shadow I've integrated, the less other people, because projection is fundamentally shadow. And so because I've integrated so much of my own shadow, other people's shadow doesn't bother me as much. So for instance, if someone is saying, well, you think you're superior to me, because I've integrated the part of me that feels superior, I'm like, okay. Like there's no charge there. It's, well, sometimes I'll actually get, well, do you? And I go, no, but I can hear that you feel that I feel that way. So let's talk about you, not me, right? And so that capacity to just receive it is because I don't feel that anyone's projection defines who I am. I am not their projection. I am me. And so this is where being a bowl instead of a plate comes in really handy. So a plate, you can place anything on a plate. Things can fall. It's just it. And as soon as you start moving it, everything is all over the place, right? But a bowl has more containment, and a bottle has even more containment than that. And so I see myself more like a bowl or a bottle than a plate, which means that you can project as much as you want, but I'm not taking it in. It hits the surface like water on a duck's back. And it's just, it's just something that is there. Like, oh, that's interesting. Like a bug crawling on your arm, like, oh, that's an interesting thing. But I don't go, oh, the bug's on my arm. What does that mean for me? Who am I? It's just a bug on my arm. It doesn't mean anything. I didn't suddenly turn into something because the bug was on my arm. And I feel the same way about other people's projections. Like, if that's the role I'm to serve in your evolution, is that you need, for some reason, to project upon me in order for you to go to your next step. I may not understand it in this lifetime, but I'm eternal, and so I will understand it eventually. And because I don't need anything from you, it's all good. It's all good. So what I would say, any 5 out there who's hiding from their leadership because they're afraid of being projected upon, I understand how that feels, but the world needs your voice. And because you have a way of saying things and a take on things that is not part of the common or normal narrative at the time that you live, your voice is particularly necessary to change things. And so fall in love more with what you're here to change than you are, than you fear what will happen to you as a result of that. Also, recognize that you can limit that and limit that projection field. And the way that you do that is by having really clean boundaries. And your boundaries aren't for anyone else, they're actually for you. The boundary is where you say mine versus not mine. This is mine to do, this is mine to say, this belongs to me, versus this is not mine. This is not mine to do, this is not mine to say, this is not my garbage to take out, this is not my baggage to unpack. And so when you're really clear on that, situationally, situation by situation, individual by individual, then you find yourself being projected upon way less. Don't try to equalize it for everybody. Don't try to be the same for everyone. Allow yourself to have some clients, for instance, that you talk to them every day, and some clients that you only want to work with once a week. Allow yourself that space. Allow yourself to reach out to the people that you feel called to reach out to, and not to reach out to those that you don't feel called, even though they keep saying they want you to. Allow yourself that diversity, because what that is, I believe, is your inner guide telling you that's not for you, and also preventing you from being projected on as much as possible. We get asked to do a lot of like podcasts and stuff, and I'll tell people, I'm like, well, do you focus a lot on feminism? Because I'm not a feminist, or I'll say, I just want you to know, I don't believe that most women have an inner masculine. So if that's really important to your audience and you might not want me on your show. But honestly, no one has ever said no. They're always like, ooh, that's fascinating. Yes, please come. We want to talk about that. And so it's really interesting, but maybe that's part of it, is because I let them know. Like, I know the parts of me that are different from the norm. And so I bring them forward, like, okay, now you decide, and it seems to work. So.
Is there anything else you want to say for this video?
No, I think we're complete. It feels complete to me.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for these incredible insights and this wisdom that you're just so clearly embodying. It's truly divine, and I know it's going to reach the right people. So it's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for reaching out more than once when I didn't get back to you. I so appreciate that. Thank you for seeing me. That's so precious and valuable to me. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Welcome back. Oh my goodness. This was just filled with gold. I'm so excited. I would love to hear the ninja move that you resonated with the most down below. Please comment, and also check out the other videos that I did about the 5 in the profile playlist. I look forward to seeing you again soon here on my channel. Bye. Oh, and all the details on how to, all the details to, in general.